An 8-week-old girl now growing up without a mother after Caitlin Carroll Peak was gunned down in a domestic violence dispute.
We found out she filed for a temporary protection order against the man who eventually killed her. But it never went into effect. News 5's Mike Brookbank has been investigating what it takes to get an order like that. Mike, you found out a lot of victims never complete the process.
Yeah, that's right, Lee. As for why, there are a lot of reasons, but a big one is fear. And now there's a push to make changes to the current system to help victims feel safer.
We don't know why 22-year-old Caitlin Carroll Peak never followed through with her court protection order.
Whether it's safety, whether it's the legal process, it happens quite frequently.
Peak's case dismissed after she failed to appear in court.
There's a lot of reasons victims don't show up.
Linda Johannick with the Domestic Violence and Child Advocacy Center tells me Peak's tragic death at the hands of her boyfriend highlights serious issues within the system.
The current way we're set up sets victims up to fail.
Victims, the majority of the time, have to act as their own attorney and convince the judge they're in a dangerous situation.
So we know that these things are happening, but how do you prove that in a court system? How do you submit evidence? How do you call witnesses?
Megan Gergen is a justice system advocate who helps guide people through the process but can't provide any legal advice.
I would like to see more people have access to legal services.
And that's a big system problem, and that's a system problem that needs to change.
While alleviating that pressure might help more victims complete the process, the other big concern is safety.
We have them check in 2 separate areas, and then we have a safe separate waiting area for everybody who comes in.
However, victims are still required to appear before a judge, standing feet away from their alleged abuser.
It would be best practice if the victim doesn't even have to show up in court, because for her own safety.
Johannick is proposing a closed-circuit television system so victims could appear from another undisclosed location.
The logistics and always money is really a difficulty in setting up a full new process like that.
But it's still something the Cuyahoga County Domestic Violence Court Director says they're on board with, and she admits there are issues.
No, the system is not easy, but our job as a court is to make sure that you still have access to it, you know what's going on.
Now, to address safety concerns, the Domestic Violence Court recently added security cameras in all waiting areas and hearing locations along with hallways. And a grant helped pay for 2 intake specialists to guide victims on how to complete the protection order process. Now, for critics who say protection orders are a useless piece of paper, statistics show 75% of victims who got one say the violence directed at them either stopped or was reduced. In the newsroom, Mike Brookbank, News 5.